Hola! Okay, so what I'm going to do this video over is the verbs that are the Gustar-like verbs, okay? So I'll also include a really brief section on the verbs ser and ir. That's pretty easy breezy just because basically it's just one form in the preterite and you just look at the context. So we're actually going to start with that. So if you remember, ir is to go and ser is to be, okay? So it's in the past tense, okay? Yo fui, tú fuiste, él, ella, usted, fue, nosotros fuimos, and ellos, ustedes fueron. Okay? So, you're going to use these same forms, and really you just look at the words that come around it for your context. So, yo fui a Kroger. Okay? Ir o ser. Yo fui a Kroger. Ir. I went to Kroger. Okay? But if I said, yo fui una buena estudiante. Fui una buena estudiante would be I was a good student. Okay? So you just have to look at your context. And then you just got to memorize these forms. Okay? Fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fueron. Okay? Now, in this other video, or this other section of the video, I'm going to go over the Gustar-like verbs. Remember that Gustar is called the backwards verb, okay? Because basically, we are not the subject. It's what we like or we do not like that is the subject, okay? So, what we're going to do is look at some examples, okay? So, we're going to start with Gustar because that's the one you guys learned way back in chapter 2 in Spanish 1, okay? So, me gusta el café. Okay, I think this is the example I tend to use because I drink a lot of coffee, right? So, me gusta el café. Okay, because this right here is singular. That means this verb is conjugated in the third person singular. Okay, it's just a regular old AR verb. Okay, me gusta el café. Now, if I said I liked all coffees from Mexico, for example, okay, then I would say me gustan los cafés de Mexico. Okay? So, because this is plural, our verb is conjugated in third person plural. Me gustan los cafés. Okay? Now, if I like to drink coffee, okay, which I do, then I would say me gusta beber café. Okay? Singular. The only time you will ever use this plural form is when you have a plural verb. That's it. Okay? So, let me erase this real quickly, and I'll show you how this works with other verbs. But it follows the exact same pattern. Okay? So, for example, if I'm going to pick one of the verbs that you have on page 230, okay, so this is on page 230, 230, okay, and I'm going to use the word, the verb molestar, meaning something bothers you, you don't like it, okay, so I would say me, te, le, nos, les. Okay? Now, notice this right here. these are not the reflexive pronouns. That's what makes this chapter a little tricky, because the very first part of the chapter, you have reflexive pronouns. That's the reflexive pronoun video that I posted, okay? The reflexive pronouns are me, te, se, nos, se. These are all these are indirect object pronouns. That's it, okay? Because it's not really you that's the subject, okay? You are indirectly affected by it, okay? So it's me, te, le, nos, les, okay? So I would say me molesta el coronavirus. ¿Sí? Me molesta. Te molesta el coronavirus. Le molesta. Okay, so if the coronavirus bothers him, the coronavirus bothers you, the coronavirus bothers me. Okay, me molesta el virus. Te molesta. Le molesta. But if it bothers all of us, which it does, right? Then we would still say nos molesta. Okay, the verb doesn't change because remember, we're not the subject. The nasty virus is the subject, right? Okay, so nos molesta el virus, el coronavirus. Les molesta el coronavirus. Okay, so that right there is singular because we're only talking about one virus. Okay, now we can make that plural as well if we are talking about all viruses, okay? Okay? Los viruses, ¿sí? Me molestan los viruses, okay? So it doesn't matter if it's just one person that's bothered by all the viruses or if it's more than one person. It's what comes after the verb that is important. So if this is plural, your verb is plural, okay? If this is singular, your verb is singular, okay? So that is an example. That's an AR verb. Now, one thing, this is one that kind of, for some reason, trips you guys up, even though I know you already know this, right? Is aburrir, okay? It's an IR verb, just like the IR verb vivir, for example, right? So you have vivir, okay? In the present, vivo, vives, vive, vivimos, okay? Viven, right? Regular old